All right, YouTubers, here comes another Wilds Adventures maintenance tip here for RVs on the Wilds Adventures. As you can see, pretty nice day out here in the Pacific Northwest. I started winterizing my trailer last week or so, and I didn't quite get it done because it got late on me. But so what I thought I'd do is make this video before I got all carried away and completed. Just show you what I'm doing here on my 310 Northpoint. It's a 2024 model, so I suspect it's fairly close to the last couple years. I'll walk you through how I de-winterize, just in case you had some questions. I know there's a bajillion videos out there, but we'll show you what we got. So here's my standard panel. You can see if you actually follow these valves through, I am still on city inlet to fixtures. I have this little adapter I got off of Amazon, pretty cheap. It comes with another one that you can also put on like a faucet outlet for your hose if you gotta blow some stuff that way. You do have to take your filter out before you put the antifreeze in, but we're not quite to that point yet. Over here you can see I've pulled out the anode rod, which goes in this hole here. I'll probably have a little bit of water left in here. I didn't have time, like I said last week, to blow it out. And then you got your blow off valve here. You can leave it a little repressure, pull this rod out. It's going to dump out on this one. I think it's 12 gallons, if I remember right, of water that's in here, which is important why you want to get it out. And then I'll kind of walk you through some of this stuff here to de-winterize, and we'll kind of go through it here. It's not too crazy. I do have a low point drain. If you're looking on the back of the coach, back here behind the wheels, I have that one right there. This blue one. You can open it up. You can see I got all the water out of that already, so nothing crazy there, but leave that open. You can close it or open it as you need to. I don't have any water coming out. Let me back up here so you can see. On the other side of the RV here, there's another low point drain, like I said, right behind the axles again. This one is actually for the fresh water tank, so you pull this white valve right here. Oh, I already had it open. Sorry, it was already open. And I have no water dumping out. So that one I just leave open right now because I'm blowing it out. Let me get back out of there. And then continuing down the right side of the coach, here's my other low point drain, but not really on this one. So this one, let me crawl in here. You have to get into the storage or belly. And you can see if you follow all the hot water lines, there's the back of the hot water heater. So we're going to drain that. And there's no manual valves anywhere in here that I have seen, with the exception of these two right here that go to that low point drain. So to get these drained, you have to open up the belly and then take these little panels off. You can see in one of my previous videos, if you watch it, where I repaired this, command board that was flopping around. But anyhow, getting back to this, so open these up, pretty standard. They just close or open. Right now they're open because we're trying to blow all the water out. So that is all of your drains. You always want to make sure you have something open for this pressure to go when you get ready to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go turn on the air compressor with about 40-45 psi, nothing crazy. You don't need too much. You can probably do a little less than that if you really want to, because you don't want to blow out your plumbing. So we'll walk over here and we will adjust our pressure on that gauge. I don't know if you can see it. So there's about 40 right there. It looks like it's holding. So now, like I said, I've got a lot of stuff open, but I have this valve closed here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and just crack this one open slowly. So now we have air going to the system. You can see where this is still draining out where I didn't do it last time. So that is good. And now what I'll do is I'll come, just kind of shut everything up and let the pressure kind of go down the different sides of the lines. I'll do that 3 or 4 times, so I'm happy with it. I will say shut these low point drains here when you're doing this. And you can go back and forth. So that one's shut, no water came out. I have the fresh water open, so we'll go shut that. There's no reason to keep that open. You can see there's not enough water in there, and if there's a couple little drops or a small bit at the bottom, it's not gonna freeze because we got it all out. And that would be on our 75-gallon freshwater tank. So like I said, I just closed this one, and it just drains out right up here. You can't miss it. When there's water in there, it'll come straight down. And then, like I said, I have these open right here, one's in the belly. And you can see I'm getting a little drip out of there. So we'll just leave those 2 open for right now. And then, while that hot water heater's finishing up, I'll bring you inside. So what I currently have open is those 2 low point drains on the outside, the hot water heater. Compressor fired back up, so I may have to shut it off and let it build back up here because I'm blowing a lot of air out. But I do have this open, and you can see I'm not getting much out of that because that hot water heater's open. I previously blew these out, so what I'll end up doing is putting that anode rod back in there. I'll do one final good pressure blowout on all my lines here, and then I'll take that anode rod back out and leave it out for the season. But I do have this open, and if you could hear it, there's a little bit of pressure there, so it's blowing out any water. I also have the shower open, so by closing some down, I get a little bit more pressure, and I go back and forth. But like I said, those are all open right now. Well, now they're closed, so everything's closed. I am going to go basically shut the air off, put that plug back in, and then we'll do a final blowout here. You can see it down here and hear it. And I still got a little water coming out. Not too much there, but that's the proper way to do it, folks. Just take your time. Low pressure, you don't need any big pressure. You can always crank it up instead of breaking it, right? Here you can still see I'm getting water out of the plumbing. So that's our big battle right there, just to get that empty. I'll go check the compressor, kind of see where we're at. So we're still roughly, get away from that so you're not listening to it. We're roughly still blowing about 35 PSI through there. So I'm gonna go shut those 2 on the other side of the pass-through here for the low point drain. I closed everything inside. So what that'll do is give me a little bit more pressure. So, it's closed. And closed. So you can see those are 90. Right there. So I got a little bit more pressure. And we're just gonna basically let that hot water heater blow out until it's done. And then I'll stop the video and I'll put that anode rod back in just barely finger tight, maybe just a little bump with the ratchet. And we'll get all this water out. So you can see by getting more pressure, we're still gugging a little bit out. And that's really what we want to get empty. If you leave a little bit in there, it's not going to hurt anything. But you know, you already got your tools out, you might as well just let it rip for another 20 minutes or whatever it takes. Like I said, the only other thing I got to do is take this filter out because it's going to get ruined anyway. We're just using the one that came with it, so we'll have to get a replacement on Amazon. It's kind of a pain. I figured out with this wrench on mine that it's I took this fitting off right here, got this line out of my way, then put the wrench all the way up to the bottom of the base. It's just the way they designed it. It's just in your way. So honestly, just remove this fitting right here. Hand tight, don't go crazy, you'll break it. Move the line, do the wrench, put it back together. So that's what I'm gonna do with that. Yeah, so I'll pick back up the video here with you folks in a few minutes. I'll let this hot water heater get done, and then I'll show you how I blew out the inside a little bit. It shouldn't be much coming out because I started on it last week. This is the only thing I didn't get to was the hot water heater with the air. And then I will show you how I suck it up with the antifreeze and how I switch the valves around, which some people say you only need to do one or the other. Maybe not. Antifreeze, you know, I think for 6 gallons on Amazon or wherever you get it, it's 60, 70 bucks, fairly cheap. So if you break all your stuff because you didn't drain the water out, you're gonna be mad that you didn't spend 60 bucks. This is super easy. Anybody can probably do it. It just takes a little forethought of wherever water is, it can freeze and break. Last year on my old trailer, I had a spray port break. Totally different panel, but like this is the outdoor shower here, and it wasn't that one, but it was my little Kodiak one I had in one of my videos. I used that spray port one time just to make sure the water worked. Never used it again, and I'll be damned if that didn't freeze and break my fitting. And I had to fix that. It's a little check valve in there that held just enough water, it broke, and then I had a leak. So yeah, so if you have a spray port, make sure you insert those and blow air through that spray nozzle, because you're clearing out that check valve, not so much your little spray hose. You are, but it's the check valve. There's a check valve behind there that'll stick and freeze and break if you don't do it. Or make sure you squirt a little of that pink antifreeze through there. I'm going to do both just because I own a couple compressors. I'm gonna spray them out, and then I'm gonna put the antifreeze in, and that's about the best you can do, quite honestly. So we, like I said, we live up here in Seattle area, Tacoma area, and it gets cold around here sometimes. Usually not too bad, but last year it got super cold and broke my stuff. So that's what we're doing. I'll come right back, and then we'll go from there. We'll pick it up and we'll blow out some more on the faucets, and then we'll put the antifreeze in. All right, YouTube, so I'm back. We'll splice this video to here. So like I promised, I just loosely put that plug in. It is literally finger tight. You can probably see it drip, a little drip there, a little slight leak. Do not care. Like I said, so now we're gonna do the inside part. I have air to the system. Like I said, make sure you always have some sort of outlet open when you got pressure. You don't want to over pressurize your pipes and break something. So I currently have the sink open. You can hear it. So what you do, rotate it from cold to hot. You know, cold to hot a few times. See that little spray right coming out. Getting a little bit, but it's pretty good. So I got about 40 psi coming through the system just on this one sink. So that's doing pretty good there. Really not a lot left. That one's good. Fairly happy with that. That one's got some, so we'll just probably put it in the middle. Let it do its thing. All right, so down. Water's going in your sink. You will have to drain your gray tank again. Not your black tank. We're not putting water in the black tank, just the gray tank. So, yeah, you'll have to drain it. I just drain it onto my gravel because it's just gray water. There's no stuff in it, so to speak. So now we're coming here. We're gonna turn this one on, and then we're gonna go down here, check this one. It's looking pretty good, so we'll probably shut that one. That'll give us a little bit more pressure, and we'll do the same thing. So we're gonna rotate it cold, and then kind of go hot. Cold. Back to hot. And then put it in the middle. Alright, so now what I want to do is this stuff out of the way. So like I said, you always want one open. So you're going to open up the shower. Make sure it's kind of pointed away from you so you're not blasting yourself. And then we'll close this one. And now we'll just do one valve at a time. So that's just the cold. You don't really have anything coming out of there. Maybe a couple little drops trying to. So that's pretty good. And we'll do the same thing. We'll try to get the hot. You can see just a little bit coming out. So now I have them both back on, cold and hot. And that's the idea, folks. Just take your time. You know, like I said, you can come back in here, check them a couple, 2-3 times. Just leave one on. So we'll leave that shower on for a minute. Let it blow out. We'll double check the sink real quick. And I don't have anything, but you do run out of air. I've got a 33-gallon tank. Older Craftsman compressor puts out 6.5, I think, cubic feet a minute at 90 psi or something like that, and we're not running it nearly that hard. So I'm probably up around maybe 8-ish, 9-ish cubic feet a minute. And I'm holding my own as long as I only have one faucet open, or a little bit better. So just use what you got. You might have to go back and forth a little bit more. If you got a small little pancake compressor, you're gonna run out real quick. My smaller trailer, I used a 1 gallon, fill it up, blow it out, fill it up, blow it out. This trailer's got too much water stuff, so we're not gonna do that. But that's how we do it. So we'll leave that shower going, just let it blow. And then the only other thing we'll do is put some pink stuff in here in a hot minute. I'll show you how to do that. But like I said, if we come out here in our water bucket, you need this. So you can use this with a sprayer, which we're missing. I don't know where it's at. There it is. All right. So this should have been on the end of it. It was not. But what we're going to do is just basically hook this up to this hose here. And like I said, we're going to install this on the ports. And we'll put some water through these. So on my trailer, it is not this one. This is just a J port for propane. I do have one up here though, that's hidden behind this door right here. So you just flip this up. Obviously this will just take 2 hands here probably for me. See if I can do that. And there we go. That would have been nice had the handle of this valve not been open, but you can see how much water I'm getting out of that line, or that check fitting I was talking about earlier. Maybe it was in his hose. I doubt it, because the thing wasn't on there, so probably wouldn't have been in my hose, but might have been a little bit. But that pretty much shows you how important that check valve is. It holds a lot of water, so we're just blowing all that water out of there. And then I'll show you on the other side on the shower, and we'll see how much we get out of that line. So it's pretty important when you do this just to be methodical, low pressure, take your time, and just, you know, blow it all out. You have to make sure you get it. And then the other super important thing is to bypass your hot water heater if you're going to put the pink antifreeze in, because it's corrosive. You don't want it in your hot water heater. So that's what you want to do with that. And then you want to make sure you don't have any little valves, bypass valves. I didn't see any on this trailer because it's all with the one centralized panel. But each coach is going to be different. So I could tell you 2024 is mine. You might look in there and have a 2023 to, you know, just get in your belly and look. So this, I'm pretty almost happy with that. I don't see a lot of water coming out of that anymore. So, after it shot me in my face for your all's amusement, I know I'm not the greatest YouTuber with the camera here because I'm trying to do stuff with one hand. Here's another one. Goes in there. That one just clicked in. And then we'll see. Nothing there. Turn on this shower. So I actually had some knobs right there for the shower, and I felt a little pressure, so we'll see. Oh yeah. So this is something I've never used ever. this outdoor shower. I've never hooked anything up to it. And you can see by me hooking it up and turning it on how much water I got out of there that could potentially freeze. And that check valve, which will be on the back side of that panel, and I'll try to show it to you when I get back in the belly. That's what's going to get you, and it's going to freeze. So make sure you just blow all these little out. This is done pretty much. There's not a lot coming out anymore. So we can close these up. And then the outside shower is done. The little port on the other side is done. Yeah, and we're pretty much done, folks. So I am going to go shut all this stuff off, and then we're going to get to the antifreeze, which is quite a bit different. Before I do that, before I forget, in the belly here is the hot water heater, and then there is the back side of my centralized control panel. That is what we don't want to break. So blow everything out. I can hear some water in here. I don't know if you guys can pick that up, kind of working its way through the lines. So I'm looking, just kind of seeing if I have any leaks. I don't think I do. I think it's just water going in the air compressor trying to get out. So what I will do is open these one more time. And like I said, folks, you can just see how much I got out because I was running those lines right. So like I said, take your time, be methodical. It's gonna keep kind of coming because it's water. This one's pretty much done. So I think we're pretty good here. So, and that's why I'm gonna put antifreeze in. So I could fight this all day, kind of going back and forth. You may or may not get the water all in. All right, so we're closed there. Now I'm going to go show you how we do the rest of this stuff. Once you're happy with your water, you can come close all these valves, and then we'll do the antifreeze. Like I said, we're pretty good here. This is hand tight. So there's the air out of that. I'll leave. How do I have that? I'll probably try to leave that there for the season and just leave this open. There's no reason to have that closed. We'll shut this air off here. And then I'm going to be right back. Shut this compressor off, and then I'll get the antifreeze set up. There's a little different hose adapter that came with my trailer. Hope you got one. And then I'll show you how I reconfigure the valves, and we'll pump antifreeze through it. And then, like I said, we're going to do the same thing, and we want to see it come out of everything, and I'll walk you through that. All right, stand by, I'll be right back. All right, YouTube, I am back. So what I got set up here is I have currently got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that I got pre-gamed up. I had a little bit left over from last year on my smaller trailer. I'll use to pour down the sinks and stuff. So here's that hose that came with my trailer. It's just literally, you can get a garden hose if you don't have one. Screws in there, just cut it. That's super simple. My panel, like I said, is a convenience panel, or kind of like single point panel. Dry camping, power fill, city water is what I was using just to blow the air out. And so now, oops, if you can look at that on mine at least, winterizing. So I'm in, and then out, out. So in, out, and out. Siphon to fixtures via the pump. Siphon to tank via pump. So that's sanitizing. So I don't want to do that. That's for bleaching next year to get all the funk out. Power fill to tank. This is city water to fill the tank. Dry camping is to use the water from the tank. And then city is where you would have full hookups. So read your owner's manual. Like I said, they're all different. So what I want to do is siphon to pump, winterize. I do have this pump switch right here, or I can turn it on inside. We'll go ahead and hit this, and you can hear it. I think you can hear it. So that is my pump, and you can see this going down right now. So that is filling up my water pump. I went ahead and turned that off, and the reason I did that is because I want to show you from inside. I can do it from both places. I have, okay, almost a gallon left in there. I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to run it out. So what we're trying to do here, folks, is in here next to my water heater, if I crawled around in there a little bit more, right around the corner is the water pump. So what we're going to do is pump enough of that antifreeze into the trailer to fill up these lines. Like I said, some people, you only need to do one, blow it out, winterize it, to each their own. I do both because it's cheap. We just bought this trailer. Like I said, I missed that one valve last time. It's cheap, like 15 bucks off of Amazon to replace it. Wasn't a huge deal, but I broke it, right? Because I didn't know it was on there. And you saw this one where I just blew it out, never used it, and it had a lot of water come out. So now, this Jayco is a rather expensive trailer, and I don't want to mess stuff up. So if we come in here, we got all this stuff. I can tap water pump from in here. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. Anyways, I can hear that. So it's running, and then as soon as I hear it cavitate, you know, meaning that my 1 gallon ran out, I'll turn this off. I think it's about full, so we'll turn it off and we'll go check. And then what we're doing is we're filling the lines with that antifreeze. I'll have to leave my pump on, so I'll have to do that till it basically comes on, sucks up enough antifreeze to pressurize the system and the pump doesn't run. As soon as it does that, we'll come in here and we can crack these open and turn them until we get pink antifreeze flowing clearly out of each fixture. Cold, hot side on both. Cold, hot side on the shower. The sink, same thing. And then we'll do that. And so I'll let it pee a little bit down the drains, and then you want to put maybe a little extra into P-traps. And then you want to make sure you flush the toilet, and we'll walk you through that. So let me go out here and see. This is the, you know, the good or bad. You might want 2 people to help when you're running the pump if you got me inside. Mine has a switch outside, so I don't need it. You can see I've got quite a bit in this jug, but I'm going to flip my switch back on. My light comes on to verify the pump's running, and I'll just watch this. I'll just let it suck. And then when this is gone, I'll do the next 2 or 3 gallons. Buy more than you think you need. You'll probably, you know, you can just save it. I just saved it. So I'm almost out in this one. And so what I'll do is I'll just turn it off. And then I'll put another one on, and I'll do that until basically I quit sucking stuff up. And then we'll come back, and once we get this full, I'll show you having it come out of the fixtures. And that's really all there is, folks. You see I'm losing a little there, but yeah, this is what you get when you're working a camera. All right, so let me do this until it stops sucking the antifreeze in to kind of speed things up, and then I'll show you coming out of the fixtures. All right, YouTube, we're back. We are ready. I had 4 gallons, or well, one of them wasn't full anyway. Kind of got 3 gallons in there and some change. I will say I probably missed a gallon because I forgot to close my low point drains on the other side, and I saw it peeing all over the ground. So like I said before, nobody's perfect. Slow and take your time. And like I said, when you're doing the air, always make sure you got a valve open, which is what I was doing. I forgot to close them, and I probably put about a gallon of this on the ground, which, you know, it's safe for animals and people, so not the end of the world. But needless to say, probably wasted, you know, almost a gallon before I heard it turn it off. Anyway, now we're full. You can see the red light is on in there. The pump is on. We're full. All the lines have filled up as much as they're going to where the pump is shut off. And these were the ones I left on, folks, with these 2 low point drains that drained out there. Not a huge deal, but just goes to show not everybody's perfect. All right, so our pump is on from the outside. And as I promised, we are going to slowly turn these on. You can hear the air. Kind of let it do its thing a little bit. Try to get some of that air burping out. Just go slow. Take your time. That's the problem when you blow air. You empty the line, so you're going to induce air and cause it to want to spurt a little bit. So you can see we're kind of going back and forth. We're flowing pretty good pink there, I'd say. Probably pretty safe to say we've got antifreeze protection for the year. So we'll go ahead and shut that off. This is going to go into your gray water tank. That's why I said you have to drain this again. I mean, won't really hurt if you leave it in there, to be fair. But that's where it's going to go. This is where I said having two people is pretty handy. Just so you don't run out while you're mid pump here. I still got about half a gallon, so we'll go back in. The pump is on, and what we'll do is we'll try another one here, just barely. I'll run out and I'll have to put another jug on there. So we'll do the same thing here. We will try to gently do this so we don't spray myself. Hopefully you can see I'm going slow there. There's the air coming out. Not too bad on the cold, that's pretty good. We'll go to the hot gently. Kind of back and forth, and now I'll go check that jug and put it on a new jug. So that's what we'll do, and then we'll do the same thing with the shower, folks. Literally, we're going to come in here, do the same thing. There's the hot. Get some of that air out. And then here's the cold. That's the air I was talking about. And now I'll most definitely be out. One of the tricks I was going to show you, as you can see, this pink antifreeze is all over. It will kind of stain. So this is a mess right here. So you're typically better off to put the valve right down there by the drain and not spray it all over the place. So that is one trick you can do. I would highly recommend that, so you don't have to clean up as much. Oh, I just got these flags in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing what I need to do since I made a mess, and then I'll just clean it up. But a little pro insider tip on there is the sinks you can do, wipe it up when you're all done. That's the final piece. But the shower, just go ahead and put it down by the drain and then turn it on slowly. Less mess to clean up. Main thing is just to get it wiped up before it dries. So we'll come out here and we'll check our jug here, which you can see is empty. So we'll shut the pump off. I'll put a new jug on, and that will allow me to finish the shower like I showed you on the other ones. And then the toilet one, we can do that and just put a little bit so it sprays pink. So you want to see pink in there. I'd fill it up about as deep as you can get it, and then pour a jug in there a little bit. Yeah, and that's kind of it, folks. And then don't forget the shower and the other side if you got one, and just squirt some pink stuff through there so those check valves are lubed up. And then that's it. You're done. You shut everything off. Like I said, I'm going to leave my water heater plug out. Mine bypasses. It was with this panel, so if you have valves in the back, make sure you bypass it first. Worst case is you don't, and you get pink stuff out of that, or out of the air valve. That means, oops, you got antifreeze in there. Go ahead. You're going to have to start over, unfortunately. Fill it back up with water. Get all that crap out of there, and then do it over. And that's it, folks. That's the air method. You can see we're pretty much done here on antifreeze, and I think I had 7.5. I can put a little bit in here, and then I'll need one more, and I think I wasted one, so I used about 6 on my big old beast. So get about 6 or 8, depending on what size of trailer you got. If you have another bath, you might need like 8 or 9. You don't need a whole lot, but you do have to fill up all those lines that you got the air out of. So it'll take you 4 to about 8, depending on your size of your RV. And like I said, it's pretty cheap. I did pull the filter out of the water filter, so that's out. And I'm going to wrap this up, folks. If you like what I did, give me a subscribe down below. Give me some comments. I know I'm not the best YouTuber, up and coming. And then if you have some ideas that you need to see for maintenance Shoot me comments like what you'd like to see. Probably in spring I'll do the AC cleaning, kind of do some stuff like that. Just kind of make some travel adventures, you know, as I go along. Just an average guy trying to make a living and enjoy camping. And we'll see you on the next one. All right, take care.